everybody, welcome back to another video by DissociaDID, and today I'm going to be talking about safety and healing if you have a mental health disorder. A quote that I see floating around a lot is, "You can't heal in the environment where you got sick." And a few months ago, I posted a feisty response to this on Tumblr. It was just a little thing. It was like, "You can't heal in the environment you got sick." And I said something like, "Watch me." I think that, yes, in some cases, you can't heal in the environment you got sick. But it's not always an option for everybody to be able to leave the environment they got sick. Especially if you live in an abusive household, or you suffer from PTSD, or CPTSD, or DID. Living in an environment where you have experienced trauma, or that you associate with a bad experience, or a worsening of your mental health symptoms. For example, if you have anxiety or depression, and you start to connotate your bedroom, for example, with feeling very, very depressed. It can be difficult to get yourself out of that funk when you're surrounded by an environment that reminds you of all the other times bad things have happened there. I think that it is always best for healing if you can leave an environment that makes you feel unsafe, or extremely anxious, or extremely depressed, or extremely dissociated, because there's usually a reason that you feel that way. Sometimes it may be due to external factors, but other times it might just be due to the connotations that you have with that place and the experiences that you've had there in your head. And if you do have amnesia, or you have DID or OSDD, you may not be able to place the reasons why you feel like this, because you may not have memories of what exactly happened that has made you react in the way that you are reacting to the environment that you're in. And that can be very scary. And sometimes this can happen with people who don't have amnesia as well. And you may not have realized exactly what it is that caused this reaction in you. So in that sense, I think that this quote, "You can't heal in the environment where you were hurt," is very, very accurate. And that it is always best to cultivate a safe place where you can take your armor off and where you can surround yourself with the things you love and create an environment that is full of healing and safe energy. And if you don't believe in that kind of stuff, what I mean is a place where you know that you're safe, where you have control over your environment. For example, in a home where you can lock your door or lock the door to your room, decorate it however you want, do whatever you want in that space without feeling embarrassed or like you have to act a certain way, or that you can't allow yourself to feel the emotions you're feeling in case somebody else walks in, or for any particular reason. But like I said, what I'm getting at here is that's not always a choice for everybody, especially if you're in abusive situations, and especially if you're a trauma survivor. If you suffer from PTSD, you may not feel like you can escape those symptoms. The recurring flashbacks, the psychosomatic symptoms, emotional flashbacks that can come with it, body memories, and it may feel like wherever you go, that trauma is going to be following you around. In other cases where you may not physically be able to leave the environment that is traumatic for you, like if you live in an abusive home, does that mean that your healing has to be put on hold, or that you can't heal until you leave that situation, even though that situation may be years away from being escapable? I don't think that this means that all hope is lost. And I definitely don't think that it means that you should give up on trying to heal. Yes, it would be easier if you could leave that environment, but life isn't always easy. In a lot of situations, it's the best people that get lumped with the worst, the worst lot in life. If you feel like you can't escape the situation that you're in, that's horrible. And I understand that. But it doesn't mean that you're incapable of healing while you're there. It's just going to be harder. But you can heal in the environment that you were hurt in. You may not be able to heal completely, but you can start making those steps. You can encourage yourself. You can be determined that, okay, little things. I'm going to make sure I clean my teeth twice a day. Start off just once a day. I'm going to make sure I shower every 3 days to start with, and then every day. Start those tiny steps. that may seem to a lot of people to be silly and everybody should shower every day and why would you not clean your teeth twice a day? I've seen the comments about our teeth, by the way. Mental health often has a very big impact on your ability to practice self-care and cleanliness. Sometimes places like bathrooms can be triggering for people. It's not always easy to care for yourself when you don't feel like you're worthy of being cared for. If nobody's showing you that you deserve to be cared for, if you feel like you don't deserve to be clean, or that you'll never be clean, or that you'll never be able to escape this environment, then what's the point in trying? Because if you can't escape this environment, then you'll never heal. And if you don't believe that you ever will be able to heal or leave that environment, why try? It is so important that you try. You may not feel like you have any control over your life right now, especially if you have mental illnesses that mess with your brain, because they mess with your brain. You are worth healing. You are worth the fight. Even if it's just you who believes that, you are worth the fight. Tiny steps are important. Tiny, tiny steps. And then before you know it, they won't seem so big anymore. And they will look like tiny steps. And you'll realize that you're dealing with things better than you were before. No, it's probably not going to be easy while you're in that environment. But it's easier to deal with your mental health issues when you're dedicated to your healing journey. And that is a big step and a big decision that often goes back and forth with lots of people when you decide, no, I do want to heal. And this is my number one priority right now. It's to heal and to get better, because I deserve a healthy life. I deserve a safe life. I deserve a safe place. And putting your needs and your wants into perspective, making goals for yourself with time limits, not necessarily limits because these are goals, but saying like, by the next year, I want to be in therapy, or in the next year, I want to be cleaning my teeth twice daily, or by the next year, I want to have a job, or I want to be financially independent, or I want to be moved out of this situation if you can, or perhaps you want to go to university. Making little steps like that and putting a decent amount of time on it will ensure that you're more likely to get it done rather than if you just say, I want to go to university. You could spend years just saying, yeah, I want to go to university. But if you say, I want to be at university by, 2022, then you can set yourself those goals of, what do I need to do this month to make that happen? What am I able to do today? What do I feel like I can do today? And it's okay if you feel like you can't do anything, because you are capable, but it is okay to take days off. You may need to take months off, weeks off. That doesn't make you a failure. It doesn't make you a burden, and it doesn't mean that you're not worthy or able to exist in society as an important and needed person. Everyone's journey is different, and everybody's timeline is different. I had to leave university due to my mental health. I was always at the top of my class. Always. I was a straight A-star student. I was the highest achieving girl in my high school. I got A stars all around the board in college and in high school. I always thought that, I'm going to be in education for as long as I can be, because that's what I'm good at, because I had to be the best. And I was always told you have to be perfect. There's no room for failure. You're as tough as old boots, I was told. You've got to be the perfect daughter. You've got to be the perfect friend, the perfect girlfriend. You've got to be perfect. And I wanted to be perfect because that meant I was being a good girl. If I was a good girl, people would like me and I'd be worth something. And then when my mental health started to really kick me down, I realized I wasn't able to live the life that had been set out for me, and the life that I wanted to live, and the life that I had pinned all my worth into living. If I do this, I'll be worth something. If not, I'm worth nothing. And there's no point in me being here. That is unhealthy as And I did have to leave university. My DID symptoms started coming to light very, very quickly as soon as I left my home environment. And I've lived in the same environment my whole life. That put a massive stop in my life and where I thought I was going to be going and what I thought I was capable of handling and who I thought I was. I felt like I'd been thrust into some horror movie. I had no control over my life. I had no control over where I was. I had no control over my relationships, my studying, going to meetings, my friendships, my relationships, my own thoughts weren't mine, my own body actions weren't mine. I had no control over anything, and I couldn't understand what was happening. And then just as I'd got this tiny sliver of freedom where I'd moved out of my home and I was in university, I was forced to go back. It took me a while to decide that this wasn't going to be the end for me, and that if I didn't do something, then it was going to be the end for me. And even though I did really want that, I did at the time, I really wanted it to be the end for me. I tried my best to make sure it was the end for me, but I'm so glad that it didn't work out. I don't regret my decision to heal, and I decided that fuck what anyone else thinks. Fuck what I used to think. I remember when I was growing up, I was always going back and forth, and I constantly had this battle inside me of, I want to be the person I used to be. I want to go back to being that person. I didn't realize that that person was never me. That was another alter. All these little snippets of memories I had, and all the things that people would say about me, and these things I never remembered writing in my diary, these dreams, they were never me. I wanted to be that person because that was the good person. I spent so many years just trying to be someone I wasn't. And I think a lot of people can probably relate to that, whether you have DID or not. Especially if you're in a bad environment and you feel like people don't accept you for who you are, or you're the family embarrassment because you have a mental health issue that's surrounded by stigma, or that you'll never be able to be who you truly are. And maybe you don't want to be who you truly are because that scares you, and it's not what you thought you were going to be, and it's not what you wanted to be. You deserve to take up space in the world. You deserve to exist for who you are, and you can get better, and you can heal even if you can't leave the place you're in. It won't be easy, but it'll be worth it. I promise you, from the bottom of my heart, it's worth it. I'm not recovered. I'm not fully healed yet, but I am dedicated to living the best life I can because I fucking deserve that, and that was taken from me. And I didn't realize that that was what happened for a really long time. And I thought that, you know, if I accepted that, that makes me a bad person, or a selfish person, or an ungrateful person, and it doesn't. You are here to live your life. You were born, you have a right to live, you have a right to exist, and you have a right to feel how you feel. Even if how you feel doesn't make sense to you or to anyone else, you are valid. How you feel is valid, even if it's not how you want to feel. Safety is important, and it's something that everybody should strive for. But even if you don't feel safe, there are things you can do to make sure that you will be safe in the future. And that is worth fighting for. A safe future, a safe home, an independent life. If you want one, you can do that. So where did this all come from, Chloe? You may be thinking, what's with these new backgrounds you've been having lately, Chloe? All the white walls, and then suddenly turning into little lava lamps and a jasmine plant, which I love so much. Look at this little jasmine plant Sally wanted us to get, and it's now my baby. I absolutely love this jasmine plant. I think about it all the time. I'm now a plant mum, and it makes me very happy to have something to care for when I felt like I couldn't even care for myself. The reason for all these changes is we're in the process of moving out to a safe place, and I get a little bit overwhelmed and emotional, but we wouldn't have been able to do this without DissociaDID and without the support of our patrons. So we wanted to say thank you. I wanted to say thank you. It's nearly coming up to our year anniversary of starting DissociaDID. We started it on the 24th of March 2018, I think. We're nearly at 100,000 subscribers, and we get messages from people saying we've changed their life. When we started DissociaDID, it was just... I made a little poll on my private Instagram, which had something like 150 followers, and I'm crying. Because the people who followed us, who were our friends, generally knew what had happened at university and that I'd been diagnosed with DID, or at least some of them did. A lot of people were like, what? What is this? And the people who left my life didn't understand what it was. I was finally overwhelmed and like, oh my God, I finally know what I am now. I've got a diagnosis. I know what this means. I know why I'm feeling this way, and I know that I can heal because look at all these other people who've healed. Look at multiplicity in me. Look at what they're doing. They have a husband and now they have a baby and, you know, a stable job. And then I found all these other people who've done it, and I was like, wow, my God, my life isn't over. I thought I was insane. I thought I was crazy. I thought that, you know, this was a sign from something saying, yeah, this is time for you to go because this is fucked up. So leave life, basically. It was kind of like a big thing for me where I was like, oh my God, I've got answers. Does anyone else want to know these answers that I found? And I put this post on Instagram saying, would anyone like me to make a video on what DID is? Because sometimes people would really not understand. And at that point in my life, I didn't understand that much either. I got like nearly 100% saying yes. I think it was like 96% yes. And that's when I posted my first video on YouTube, and people kept coming back with questions, and people were leaving comments and things like that, like people I didn't know, and I've got no idea how they found the channel. But people were like do more, and you know, you've got nice hair, and questions that they wanted answered. So I filmed another one, and I was so dissociated, it didn't make any sense, and we had to retry it. And I was like, I really want to get these answers out there. And Kyle filmed for me, and then people met Kyle, and then people were like, oh my God, wow, tell us more. And I kept making videos, and it made me happy, and I felt like I was doing something right, and like something I was always meant to do, because I've always been told like, you'd make a great therapist, or you know, you're intelligent and you put together information well, and you're a good speaker, even though I don't feel like I'm a good speaker, but I've been told it, which is very nice to hear. And I kept going. I didn't listen to the people who were embarrassed to know me because of this DID. And I didn't listen to people who were like, you should stop because your family's going to see this, or I don't want your other members of our family to see this. You should stop. And I thought, no, this is who I am. I know that now. I nearly died. I nearly died because I didn't know who I was. What about all the other people who don't know? What about all the other people who didn't have any support because nobody understood? I rang up helplines and they had no idea what to do because they didn't understand. Nobody knew what DID was when I reached out for help. Doctors didn't know what it was. Therapists just didn't understand. And I thought, why should I give a damn what anyone else thinks of me if I can make a difference to someone else's life? If I can help change something, I want to do this, and people want to listen to me. Why should I stop? I didn't stop. And because I didn't stop, we're now moving into a safe home. I have friends all over the world. It's Sunday now. I'm recording this on the day it's going to be uploaded. I need to edit it and get going for 6 p.m. But next week I'm going to meet some people with DID, and I've never met anyone else with DID before. And if I hadn't done this, I would not have been as dedicated to my healing as I am. Without your support, and without the people who watch our videos and who share our videos and who support us on Ko-fi and Patreon and have allowed us to continue doing this, we wouldn't be safe like we are now. We wouldn't be safe. I don't even know if we'd be alive. So, thank you. It would be amazing if we could reach 100k by our anniversary on the 24th of March. That would be insane. But it's never been about the numbers. And we're so grateful for the numbers because it means that we're reaching people. Why we started this was to educate people and to support people and let people know that they're not alone, to share our experiences and the knowledge that we understand and the science that we've learned about and all the studies we've read, all the medical journals we've read, and share it in an easily digestible, friendly and genuine way. So thank you. And I hope that anyone else who's in an unsafe environment or who's struggling with their mental health and feels like in the place they are now, it's not worth trying to heal because you can't heal in the same environment you got sick. We did it. You can do it. You can do it. And it's worth trying. We have your back and our community here has your back. And I'm so proud that we have such an incredibly loving and supportive community here on DissociaDID, because I see people giving each other advice and support and care and reaching out and exchanging social medias. And I know people who've become friends and found their best friends because they spoke to each other through DissociaDID. And that's amazing. So whether this is your first video or you've been here from the start, thank you so much for supporting us and for helping us live a safe life. You gave us the confidence to reach out to each other and to be the kind of person that we needed when we were younger. You've made us the people we are. You've helped us shape our channel. You've helped us shape our lives. And we are so grateful to you. This isn't just us making things for you. You have an impact on our lives as well, more than you realize. And we're eternally grateful to all of you. Okay, I'm going to stop now because I got way too emotional in this video and I don't even really know how it happened. Moral of this video: strive for healing and safety because you are worth every second of the struggle. We're going to be safe soon and we love you all very, very much. Lots of love, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.